Welcome back to Snodden Town TV. It ended Snodden Town under 23s 0, Margate under 23s 2. A difficult evening, but after the game, I caught up with the under 23s manager, Steve Fincham, to hear his thoughts.
Welcome back to Snodden Town TV. So I'm with the under 23s manager, Steve Fincham. Steve, not the result we wanted tonight, but how did you see the game?
To be fair, I think both halves are pretty identical. With we let an early goal in through a mistake and a late goal through a mistake. I felt Margate were busy; they were quite good at it, but I felt we was quite in control of the game. Two mistakes cost us a couple of goals, but generally, I thought I wouldn't say we created enough chances to win the game, but I felt we gifted them to it a little bit. But yeah, the boys kept huffing and puffing. Like I say, it's been a long season. A few of the reserves, older players come in and helped out, and yeah, just fell quite short in that last game, really.
And obviously, we spoke just before the game about obviously the result on Monday and how obviously the team had changed from that. Did you see that perhaps not having that consistency might have had an effect on the way you played?
Yeah, I think possibly we had a real big change in midfield. One of the young boys, except for the under-18s, he came in, was steady, he didn't do anything wrong, but the dynamic completely changes, especially through the spine of the team. As well as Tommy coming in from the reserves who didn't play last week. Although it didn't really cost us the game, it didn't really dismiss it too much, but when you're trying to build some consistency and trying to work through the lines and work on your patterns, a constant change through the midfield can always affect the dynamic of the game.
And from your point of view, last game of the season, how do you see the season overall from what you would have expected at the start?
We finished mid-table, just behind Hollands and Blair. All the teams are behind us are in higher leagues, like your Margates, your Chathams, your Maidstones, Deals. So I like to feel we're kind of in and around the rest of them teams. I do feel we had a fair few games we let slip through our fingers, and we should have been higher up the league, maybe top 3 or 4. But we're playing at a decent standard. These boys are young. You make mistakes, you're going to get punished, and they'll learn every week.
Yeah, and I suppose now the hard work starts with planning for next season.
Yeah.
A lot of these boys going to be still around next season, or is it going to be a progression for them? Or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, a few of the boys are getting to the later stage of the 23s, but they still got a lot to offer. We obviously got a few boys who've come from the under-18s and a fresh batch going into the under-18s next year that we'll look to try and bring a few of them through to keep progressing. We had Fred back today, he was our manager's player and players player last season, progressed to the first team, had a bit of time out and came back today. So in terms of the players we've got, I want to keep the core together. A few additions of younger players. We will hold a few trials, but predominantly I'm happy with the squad we've got. I think all of them got the ability to push our first team and other first teams over the coming years, and really just trying to get a bit of unity together and trying to get these younger boys to come in and see what men's football's all about.
Yeah, and when I spoke to you last week, I think it was, we spoke about the pathway to the first team and the fact that, you know, the first team coaches know about this team and they know who they like. Do you see any of these players are potentially, I mean, we don't yet know what division we're going to be playing in next season, but do you see that some of these boys could be potentially knocking on that door for the first team next season?
Yeah, I think regardless of what league we play in, we've got 4 or 5 who have got enough ability to step into that team around the other players and be able to do a job. I'm not saying they'll be the answer, but they're all ready for that step up in that next scenario. And I do feel they're going to benefit from it. Obviously, Lacey was down here tonight, the first team coach. Steve, the new reserve team manager, was down here. So we're all trying to work in unison, push the club in the right direction. And the more people we get rotating between the 3 squads and pushing on, the better it's going to be for us as a club in the whole.
Brilliant. And I guess the only thing to say is have a great summer, and I'll see you in the pre-season and maybe next season.
Look forward to it. Thanks for doing it.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.